Oh, hello. Hello. Oh, looks like I've got a right brew, but I haven't. Hello, everybody. Right. Oh, I don't know what I've got going on in the background. Alexa, next. Alexa, next. I'm not having that crap. Alexa, play calm traditional Chinese music.
I couldn't find any calm traditional Chinese songs. Whatever music do you want to listen to at this new age?
Alexa, play Johann Sebastian Bach.
Shuffling Johann Sebastian Bach and similar artists.
Oh, this is a palaver, isn't it? What palaver? What's a palaver? Right, okay. Well, lesson 2. I love this one because this one is where we start to go a little bit crazy. So, what we're going to do is if you look at my website, which is down the bottom, I'll put a little link here. The lesson is live there and it explains what I'm going to be doing in the next part of the module. The people who've won a bag of, I said UFO, but and then a bit of crap, but it isn't. Linda, Vicky, and Andrew. So I've contacted these lovely people and let them know. Linda's very happy. I don't know what she's happy for. She won't be happy when she gets it. So thank you very much. I'll do another one next month. And I hope it isn't crap, but you know, I just say that because it's me. So you need your substrate. Now we're going to be looking in depth. So what we're going to do is I'll quickly sort of go through it on this bit of paper here. So step 1, and it's all written out, is we're going to collect reference images. And it tells you this on louwithers.com, okay? So we're going to collect reference images, and I'm going to use work after Klimt. Now, if anyone's ever wondered what after means, it means taking after or similar to, a likeness in the style of. So after is a very important word because it tells the viewer who you've been working on. So that's why we say after. It's like taken from or taken after Klimt. So you're taking after Klimt. And I'm going to concentrate this time on The Kiss, which is one of his very poignant ones. Now, this goes back to what we did at the beginning, lesson 1, who, what, where, when, why. To get your reference material out and start having a quick shuffle through it. I'll be honest with you, I was having a quick chat then, so mine's all here, there, and everywhere, but not where I want it. Put it on. It's in a pink tray. Oh, crying out loud. So, yeah, what I've done basically is I've got all my reference materials together and I'm having a quick look at all the things I need. So I've got, that's not it, that's the goodie bags. Right, give me a minute. It's upstairs somewhere. Oh, crying out loud, where have I put it? Oh, it's all here. I knew I'd got it. Right. So let's go back to lesson 1, which I hope you've all done. Which, if you don't, I'm going to come after you because you should have done some homework. So what we're doing is we've taken the idea of using Klimt. We've created a slider book or whatever book you want. That's still dodgy, that one. And I've created images. Now I used the viewfinder like we did, as I told you. And then I've got all my bits and bobs here that go with it. So I do like to keep it. So we did this last week, where I did who, what, where, when, why, and I went on to do some patterning. Okay, so I'm just going to set that aside because the next step is I'm going to be working on that, but I'm not working on it today, if you know what I mean. So we did his name, we did the 5 W's, which another version is here. A lot of work to this, but I've really enjoyed it. I've been so busy this week that I've not even had time to do my own homework. But that don't matter because I've done it already. Oh, there's Susan's thing. Yeah, in the post today. And I want to show you what Susan did for me in a minute. I'll show you. So here's the other one we did. Who, what, where, when, why. Where we isolate areas of Klimt's work and then go in and do small parts of it. So that was what we've done. So we're going to really work on this now. So this sort of leads into the next bit, which is collage and mixed media. Well, the next part for me is to add materials. So what am I going to use? Well, it could be anything. So let's go through some of the things I've got to use. I can use some Cadence glittery paint. I can use embossing powders in the colours that you like. I can use gilding flakes. I can use metallic paints and metallic paints. I can use papers. Where have you gone? There you go. Fabrics. This was an old thing that I put in charity box, and you get it out. And this, oh, fine. So you get like, we get them left outside, and you just go and put some money in a box. And this is like a velvet, very similar to some of his dress. And I've got a whole range of it. You know, if somebody wants any, just let me know. I can sort of cut it up. So we gather that information, we gather all these bits that we want, and we start to play. So you might have some contour pens, yeah? You might have some 3D pens. They're all perfect for it. You might have some metallic washi tapes, yeah? These are all absolutely brilliant. So if you want to get these things around you, that's perfect because it makes you really sort of into sort of doing stuff. I've got a great trick for you with some foil next week, so I can't wait to show you. So the first thing is, for this lesson, we've got that, but we need something to focus on. So looking at the kiss, I decided I would need to research the kiss. There it is on the front of this cover. So it's a lady and a gent, and they've got like the glass and the glitter on, and all those patterns we've used, but they're entwined. And I love one of the most famous ones, The Kiss. And this book is by Rosalind Ormiston and Michael Robinson. So bearing that in mind, I absolutely adore this. I really do. And I find you. Where are you? I can't find you. There we are. So bearing that in mind, I thought I need a picture. Oh, I forgot something else that we can add. Fusible fibres, all the glitz and glams that you've got, get it all out. So I went to, on the website, it says 11/9/11, but it isn't, it's 11/9. And my printer's knackered, no ink. So I looked at these cigarette cards that I downloaded and I bought. And I looked and I thought I really like some of these to be a substitute. So I did try and contact them because it's for my own work. I can't readily say if they're going to be around now because they're very old, very old. So quick hello to people. We've got Emma, Diane, Jenny, Dawn, Miller, hello, Denise, Caroline, Sharon, Diane, and Dawn. So, and we've got some on Facebook and some on YouTube's. So I really like all of these. Now, if you go to M&N, they've got a brilliant range of ideas, and they did give me a code. And if you want the code, just let me know and I'll give it you. So I'm just going to get rid of that. But just to let you know that the bluewithers.com, right, is where you will find this lesson. All right, so if you get stuck, this is the lesson that you will find it on. So I'm just going to take this banner off. there because otherwise you can't see it. And at the bottom, you'll see there's a scrolling one. I can't thank my patrons enough because you are the people that without you, I would not be able to do this. So it's gone very dark here. So I really like her, right? But all of them I could do because what we're doing is we're after Klimt. We're not copying his work. We're using it as a reference material in the style of after, like, all these things. So I really like her. And it don't really matter to me about her colour, but she would do. But, you know, if you haven't got a face like, it doesn't matter. You can try. I've got this little contraption that allows you to trace with your phone. So you could use these on the side if you just do that. So bear in mind that this image, let me see if it's a smaller one. There's a reason why it's on the front, and that's because it's an amazing picture. But I'm trying to find a smaller one so you can get the overall pattern, because I don't think you get the beauty of that. You've got such a fine detail, so I don't think there is one actually in here, because this is not specifically Klimt. This is Nouveau and stuff. But no, I don't think there is. Let me just try this. But you can see these patterns of clothing and stuff. I have to be careful with nudie bits. And here's another version. So you choose the version that you like, yeah, and then use that as a reference material. I can't keep that too long on a page because I get into trouble. So what do we need? We've got our glitzy bits. We've got our paper. Now I'm going to cut her out. And I did this on, if you say Moodle 10 on Highlight Crafts, you get 10% off if you use that. And this is on the laser printer paper. It's really cool. So I've got this piece here and I love it as it is. I just love it. And I'm looking at size. So would she fit on there? Would she be a bit small? I think it all depends on what you want to do. Okay, I think it all depends on that. But we're going to keep her in mind as our first collage. We won't get this done today. Mind you, Jenny Bunny might. You know, Jenny's off with work. And off she does. You know, she's going to get an A star, that girl. Oh, you've also going to get a certificate at the end of this, like I would give my students when they've completed the module. So get your picture. Let me just have a quick twig. Now I've got my Fabriano, and don't forget. Oh, I think we produce that. Don't forget though, that your paper has to withstand a lot of collage and not a lot. No, yeah, a lot of collage and media. So I can't find my best one. Keep putting it safe. I can't be doing with all this safe malarkey. If I put something safe, I never find the bugger again, ever. Safe my right, okay. So I've got that in half. I think that's a better fit. Plus, it's also achievable. And I look at it, yeah, perfect. So, just going to put, get that out of the way. Just using my table as the line for it. Right, now what I'm going to do is, you don't have to do it. I suggest you do. Oh, I'm going to run out of this. I'll have to buy some more. I'll have to use my own code. So I'm going to tape up the edges. And I like to do this because I always think it looks very professional. Now I'm doing this a tad bigger than I would if I was doing it for my own research, because I'd like it to be in my book. But this could be adopted with even on your kids' photographs, aunties, uncles, grandmas. This could be what you do with their images. You could add glitz and glamour, and you know, if you've got an old photograph, collage it and add bits and bobs to it. You know, really go for it. Just going to take that down. There we go. 1 minute. I did have my guillotine, but I can't remember getting up again. Right, so that is more of a manageable shape for me. Is that right? Okay. So I'm also thinking I want a bit of an edge. So I'm going to use it. I'm using my table, and I'm just going to go. I'm using the crease because my table folds, you see, and I'm creating a bit of a mount, or like, because it is quite a classical image that I'm using, and I think it would look quite nice, you know, to add that little bit of like an extra mount. So now you can see how it's done that. So if you wanted to, you could push it out again. So you've got an outie, not an innie. But this is just, if you haven't got a, you know, you could use that. The what was it? What was it called? The Hoogie or Crafter's Companion do there, don't they? Scoreboards. Use those. Kay Rutter was it who did the Hoogie board? She very kindly sent me one and I use it all the time. So can you see I've got that lovely margin around the edge? I love that because it just gives it creates like a classical image. And it said it wasn't going to rain, but it looks a bit rainy to me. So I've got that edge, which to me makes it. Oh, I'll show you how I'm doing it because you won't see it out. But can you see how it looks? Do you like that? It's good, isn't it? Isn't that good idea? If you don't like it, tough. Yes, it's a Fabriano. Always the Fabriano that I use because I really do like it. I tend not to try and use something that you haven't got. Always. I think you asked me that same question last week, Denise. Yeah. Oh, it tends to be anyway. I might do it, might crop in now and again. Oh, I want to show you these. Aren't they beautiful? Aren't these amazing? I've treasured these. I'm going to keep these forever. They're from Sue. Look at that. And a very, very beautiful card. I feel bad now that she's getting watercolours from me. I can't show you them, but look at them. Isn't that beautiful? I like that's wonky. Properly wonky, not like a little bit wonky. It's properly wonky. I love these two. I really do. They're going in my frame. I've got a frame here for them. I'm going to put them in my frame and put them on my wall. I love them because of the words that you put in there. Hang on, shut up now with this. Right, so my advice to you is when you're using collage, use a dry glue or one that's not got too much water in it. And the reason for that is because it saturates your page and you can't work on it till it's dry. So my advice is use a glue stick. Glue stick. I know Diary swears by glue stick. If I was going to use something really wet, I would tend to use the appropriate medium, like gel medium. So I'm looking at that. I don't really want to put a banging middle because it don't look right. So I'm going to trap her up and I'm just going to put no line between her head and just like that. And I'm going to chop the bottom off because I don't want that. But there's little ways we can treat the bottom bit. So if you want to, you can. You don't matter about the white bit. You're cutting it off. Okay. Are you following me so far, everybody? Give us a thumbs up, Emma. Give us a thumbs up. Okay. So quite like I like that. And if we go back to the reference material, which is the book, you will see that she's more like there. She's more like that. But we can still have that. We don't have, no one says that we have to have it like that. But we could have her like that. A bit unnatural, but when we put collage over it, it won't matter. You could even have her like that if you want. But, oh, that's nice, isn't it? Oh, I like that as well. What about that one? That makes sense. So you see what I mean? But you do need dry glue. So I'm thinking that's something that I could do with fabric. That, yeah, I'm really happy about that. So here I'm gonna layer here because I think these lines just want me to grow like that. So now the thing is, I don't like this. And I did have one. I did. And if you haven't, it doesn't really matter. It's just a little bit easier. You just need a bit of sanding paper or an emery file, an emery board or something, and just take the edges off. I'm not really bothered. I did have one safely put away as normal, and it's safely still safe. Stupid woman. I'll find it in a second when I'm not looking for it. Sod's law in it. Sod's law. So yeah, I'm just going to rip, and I'm going to rip straight edges off, because unless you, apart from a hair, that doesn't matter, because that's like an entity, isn't it? So to get me, her hair's like, it needs to be there. I hope this is you're enjoying this. Seriously, if it's not what you think, perhaps I can hopefully help you to sort of get to understand a bit more about mixed media, or what you can do or what you don't want to do actually. Now, how do you get a lid off this? How about that? Right, I've got a glue stick. So I like using that. Use that. And the thing is, you need plenty of this on because it's a dry glue. I mean, if you've got double-sided tape, that works, but you're going to create another layer underneath it so it stands proud. So just remember that. So I like that. Now, people will say, why is she green? You're not taking part down. Is it just the process? Right, so there she is. We've got her sort of on the page now and we're looking at her. So go back to your reference material and look at how you want to sort of bring some connection or not. But I'm going to add to my little collage elements of Klimt's drawing and stuff. So I've got my book, I've got my pencils, I've got my pens, and I'm going to do it in pencil first. So I've got my little, it's important that you keep looking at your work and you like, there's certain ones of these that I love, like that one I absolutely love. And I think her with that one, can you see the green how it works with her? So there's nothing to say. Do you know, Jenny, thank you, because I had somebody say that I don't want to mention names in case they don't want me to, but I had somebody say that they found this really easy to follow. Not an idiot's guide, because that's the wrong way to say it, but explained in a way that you can sort of grasp it. So I really like the idea of her here. Get me? I don't want to put it on. It doesn't really matter because it won't cause any damage. But can you see that shape? So if I was to go get me? Like that. And then oh, that is wrong. Dog leg. So I've got her now with this. Let's go back to the reference, which is, I just feel that she was sort of moving that way. So there's a direct difference between her and him, but it looks like they're in a sleeping bag, doesn't it? So I'm just going to put some solid lines on now where I want it to be. This is a little bit more prominent than before. So just use the lines that you're more comfortable with. And then I'm just going to put in my see, they could be coming that way, or we could even have that coming off, but she has to be the main focal point without overdoing it, you know what I mean, too much at the moment. So why would we use all these things with them? Well, we could use them. I could now cut out a beautiful piece of fabric. So if I show you now, there's a bit here, and this was by chance. I haven't planned this, honestly, because I just go by the seat of my pants half the time. So if you look at this, you know, I could cut out an area of that and stick it on. I'll do it and show you. So, ow, that was my nail. So let's cut a bit of fabric out. Now, mixed media is really important. If you go on my website, it shows you the meaning. It's a long-winded AI one, but it gives you the meaning of adding collage and stuff. These scissors are crap. I've got about 25 pairs of scissors, and they're not, my fabric ones are not here. Right, so I could use that bit because, no, I couldn't. Hey, you could if you wanted. You know what I mean? You could add that if you wanted a flat area sort of coming out there like a there. Or this bit here, which is perfect. So let's get that. If you was doing a big piece, that is, try and keep, you know, in mind your reference material. Doesn't have to be exactly, it just needs to be how you want it. So you can see the design now. That could be there. I could just chop out bits and have it underneath. So she's coming from there. And what I would do is glue that down with, I'd put ribbon or maybe washi tape over the top when I'm finished. But you can see how the pattern would then. Well, let me know, Emma. I'll send you a few bits if you want, because I've got loads of it. So I've got tons of it. Well, it's not tons, but got a good bit. I can whip it out. Should do kit, shouldn't I? Right. So we've got pattern like that if we want. We could paint paper and stick painted paper on it. We could emboss an area and then I'd pen over the top. So all I would do is get my embossing ink, or I would use perhaps glue, thin glue, glue in there, add my embossing powder, emboss it, and then draw over the top. I could have gilding flakes in areas. I could have all this in. So, you know, the fibres would look amazing on here. You could make a sheet of fibres and then add them on. So we've got this stuff, haven't we? I know you have, because I've got tons of it. You must have tons of it. But I don't know if we've got any made up. Might have it here. No. No, I've not got any made up. But you could make a sheet of it, or this Angelina stuff, and cut some of this out and just stick stamp on it, or cut shapes out, or whatever. This is the clarity one. I love it, absolutely love it. I love this one, I really do. Bought it ages ago, and like that. I love that. It's the Clarity 6-piece. Don't know if you still do it. So we've got that. We've got our piece of info and reference. We've got fabric if we want it on there. We've got all these different things if we want it. We don't have to. But I'm going to put some pen work on it now because I think I can start to build up this as an image. And if you go to Ranger, Diane Reevely's, you will see that she does an amazing border guideline that is a great shape. And if you're unsure of, is this oh, it doesn't matter. If you're unsure of whether you can't get these straight lines, you can always draw circles and stuff and cut them out, or die cuts. So if you got like 2 circular die cuts, this is another one that works really well. If you just, and then I'm doing it with pen, but you would use, and that would help you to get the shape. So there's lots of different ways to do it. I'm a bit unsure whether this is waterproof, but let's hope it is. So I'm going to go for some shape, bearing in mind my pattern. So it's going to come from here, and it's going to be go over that line, but it doesn't matter because I will do the background in a different. So I'll leave her errors. Quite like the idea of her flowing out of it. Now I'm looking at my shapes, and I'm looking at these, and they're sort of they're thin. And these are all from my reference pieces. No, these are completely different to the lines that I drew. And you know what I'm like? I do that all the time. There is a reason for it. Because then I sort of think, oh, that's where I don't want it to be. And I know it's a bit daft, but if you're not sure about putting, an initial sort of line down, and you're like, oh, I'm not too sure about that, I need it to go, then this is the best way. Put one down, and then don't go where you don't want it to be. And here's the other thing now. Where's me? Oh, I'm sick of this. I'm so sick of this. Because I've got everything all over the house. I have got rubbers in my bag. I know I have carry them. Normal people carry nail file or something. I carry rubbers. Can I find the sodding thing? No. Right. I'll have to go without. I can't. I've got brand new ones everywhere. What's going on? Let's see if I've got them in here. Oh, I'm going to scream in a minute. Scream until I'm sick. I'm going to scream till I'm sick. Remember that kid? She's adorable, wasn't she? Right. So you're going to have to bear with me while I run upstairs and get me rubber. Talk amongst yourselves. I won't be a minute. I'll be back. Hey, back. Right, so I'm going to rub out some of these extra lines now so it doesn't look as daft. And always remember you've got a piece of collage here. So if you start to rub that way, there's chances that if you've not glued it down, you'll find out where. So got so much to do today. But I'm glad I have. I had a great day at the monastery. Karen travelled. I had lots of people from another group. So yeah, I was really pleased. It was great, and it was a bit fine tuning at first, but we got there in the end. We did. So, oh, that's Karen now. She's just come in. Right, Denise. Sorry. That's a good idea, Denise, isn't it? I mean, I'm happy with sometimes if I just get postage. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at this now. And this is where my Moodle comes into it. Regardless of what people think, my interpretation of a Moodle is you being in the right place to give yourself 10 minutes and then to draw and doodle. It doesn't mean a specific design. It just means, I think it's more like a state of mind. So I always think of Moodling as me being in the right frame of mind to let myself have a bit of a treat. You know what I mean? So see this line here on a close there. I am just going to bring that down and then allow this to be part of her hair. You get me? This way I'm incorporating her dress. Then that way it's not just like my mum would say, a sore finger stuck out. You know, you've got like lines that coordinate from her and lines that flow from here, but you automatically know that that is hopefully a line of a fabric or piece or something like that. So I'm going to look at the background and I'll decide what to put in the background later, but I'm going to put in some design. So I'm looking at my design sheet, and it's really important you do that. And this would be perfect in one of them. So would this. So I'm thinking, you know, this and this I love. Plus the green just goes. I didn't plan that, honestly. I really didn't plan it. So that's why having your reference material is so important. So I'm going to do a series of quite large drawings for this, because I think it will be easier. And I'm going to go, the first one is just go with your gut. It's going to be a series like that. Okay, so I've got that happening in that one, and I'll integrate this. Okay, so when I paint over it, now what you can do is sand the edges down as well. So I'm just going to make that one big one, and then so I'm following this one, and I'm going to put them there. So I'm going to leave a bit of a gap. Like that. And they're all basically hand-drawn shapes. They're not like manipulated into sort of straight lines and anything. When you see his work, you can see where it's come from. It's been hand-drawn. So I always get the feeling that I'm doing him wrong if I don't do the same. And just divide up your space. I'm frightened of blank space, so I'm fighting here to not put something in there. But we'll leave that there, and then we'll do that pattern in there, which is taken from one of his, the tree of life. Yeah, Emma, I can get rid of that with some clear gesso and build over it, or I can whiten it out or darken it, any colour I want. It really don't matter. But clear gesso is very much your friend. So here I'm going to put another bit in there, which is quite small. So there we go. I had to put something in, didn't I? No, this isn't all of it. This is just a little bit of it. So the next thing is we'll have a look. We'll just put one big one there. Like that. And I really like the idea of having like 3 offset. Like that. And then so I want it sort of like chopping it up like that. And here's just like lots of so that's one done, believe it or not. Okay. Yeah, anything. As long as you there's a bit of a stipulation with that one, Emma. I can't tell you to use a magazine because it's copyright, which is crazy, but it is. It's actual copyright. So you have to be very careful. But you choose what you want for your work. I'm just going with an image that I bought. I hope it's actually okay myself, but I did ask the person, but they never got back to me. So I've got that, and I'm looking, and if I look back at the reference material, I noticed that there's a shape that is prolific, and it's this, and it's this one, and I love it. So 3 big areas. All right, so I've pulled up. Okay. She's been, didn't she? Oh, thank you, Karen. Anything that's been made by someone else, you have to be a bit careful with. I mean, like, there's some beautiful ones like M&N, Aunt Mand, and then there's Art Windsor. They're fantastic as well. So I'm just adding bumps, and these remind me of like little eggs, like that, and then leave that one like that, and this one will do. So the sort of like, when you was a kid and you used to say, right, I'm doing one, but it can't touch. And this is where I get really, I'm going to have to turn that off. Alexa, lower. Oh, it's off. Right, so I'm going in with extra shapes. Oh, yeah, Denise, anything like that. And there is royalty free. I would try for royalty free because you've always got, if anybody says, where do you get it from? I got it from there. And even when you buy something, you have to check that you can use it like this. It's a minefield. You have to check that you're allowed to reuse it. I know Art Whims is really good like that. So I've just got that with these images now. So we've chosen this one and that one. So shape, but we haven't chosen, we have only and that one. But what I would like to do is put in some of these patterns, which are really cool. And these are really simple. And all they are is it's like dot, dotted lines, and it doesn't matter. The pen lifts, that's it, it doesn't matter. But what we're going to do is just do like this pattern. And you don't have to do it like I'm doing it. If you wanted to only do smaller ones, that's cool as well. But it's just giving you ideas from Klimt's pattern work. There we go. Yeah, there was a bit of like, who was wondering where I was and where I was. If you ever get sort of a bit stuck about what time I'm on, I mean, I would always say 12, hit for 12, because that'll be more or less the one I've always been on. So I would anyway. And if you don't know, it will always be on Louise Withers, because that's the one I do on my platform. I'm just going to put like that, so we've got pattern coming from behind the head. Then it looks a bit like shot off if I don't. There we go. So we've used the lovely, like, look like little frog spawn, don't they? Lovely frog spawn. We've used these images, like they're almost like camel's toes, aren't they? And then we've got the shape of that with the diamonds. I quite like the squares in it, but there's another one that I want to do, and I think that one would be perfect with that round the side. So what I'm going to do is just, because I need something more linear there. Okay, so I've got plenty of dots, and this one just making sure that she's got the same up here. So I could paint that all green, it wouldn't matter. That is annoying me now, it's sticking on my arm. Right, so this is where I get really into it now. So I'm following the line. Bringing it more or less I'm not missing my miles today. So I'm going to go post office, get everything done. Hopefully get this stuff sent out. It's not been able to go the last few days, but I was okay yesterday, and then boom, hits you. But yeah, so I'm hoping to go now after this, but I'm not going to miss, because I've got errands to do, but I'm not going to miss me artwork with you. Never. I'm on my walk now. I like to do my 4 miles every day. Some days I might only manage 2, but I've done it. I've done walking, so, and that's what's really important. Because it clears my head. Wish it cleared my living room, but we'll see. Matt was saying to do another de-stash, and I think maybe do one a month would be a good idea. Not if anybody be interested in that. Some really good stuff. So I've got that pattern now, which follows this one, and this one, what I've done is I've gone around the oh, it would be So I've gone round the shapes and then black and white drawing. So the last one is perhaps has to be more linear, and I'm looking at that, I'm thinking, is that too similar? So maybe if I look at the squares that were created, like that one or this one, I think this might work. So if I put in a square there, and then all I put in is, say, so we've got like a checkerboard there, and then and have that hiding in there and coming in and out, in and out. So we've got some square shapes. So these are sort of angular lines, and then within these we'll put lines like that and some circles, because I think that will bring it all together. And then now all these bits and bobs I've got here can be done with bits of glue and paper. They can all be collaged with glue and paper. So even if you don't want to paint it, you don't have to. There's nowhere that says the collage police are going to come and get you. Now I've come off and into the side there, but I'm not going to stop it. I'm going to let the line come off, because I always think you can put a suggestion of it moving off the page. Now, so let's have a quick look. We've got all the patterns that we've used. It looks really strange because of it, but honestly, don't worry. So in the background, we want to create pattern, or do we want to leave it? Well, that's where your choice comes in. That's it. It's like that cloak, or wrapped in love, or wrapped in pattern, all the ideas of that. You're right, Emma. And then I'm just thinking, in the background, we could choose to do something really simple. And if you look at some of the work that he does in the background, he tends to sort of make it pattern, but all cohesive. So not a pattern that's in here, but a different pattern. So you could do like swirls, or, you know, and I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to go in with a pencil to show you first. Now, he's renowned for coils like this, and I think this would be a good like that. So it's the same but different. That would make sense, doesn't it? So I'm just going to travel from a cloak, or now if you look at some of Klimt's work, you hopefully might see these shapes appearing in it. But I like them to grow from the image and from the side. I don't like them to just appear like a sore finger. And then sometimes you can even join each other. Like here, we need one just there. Maybe a bit of a... So this module 2, module 2, it's not module 2. Lesson 2 on the module or course. It's very much about developing mixed media. And taking what you've learned from the artist's work and the patterns and shape that you've found and putting it into your own. So although it's after Klimt, and we know that we're using Klimt as a reference, it's not exactly the same, but you know where it comes from. You know, people say, oh, that looks like the Kiss or one of the portraits. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, patterns me too as well, Dawn. So I'm just going to put in the side here, a bit sneaky really, because I'm filling the whole page with pattern, but making sure that the pattern that I'm using is cohesive. So the background's one pattern and the pattern on the dresses or whatever are another pattern, or patterns, so to speak. A bit skewy with there, but never mind. Might take right, does series of questions now. Does this explain about creating your own work? Does this explain how you can incorporate an artist's piece of work into your own work? Does it give you ideas of perhaps work that you've seen other people do and you want to know, well, how did they do that? That's what I'm really interested in knowing. Does this explain how you can sort of use an idea but then make it your own? Now, I'm interested in just bringing her out a bit, but it's glossy paper, so I'm going to have a bit of a ordeal doing it too much. I'm just saying, just bringing the face out a bit. But I'll be honest with you, I don't want to just draw lines. I want to. Looks like she's got massive eyebrows now. So what I've done is I've just put some dots there and pulled them out, but you can do a bit of shading. So I'm looking at this and thinking, right, okay, I'm going to set some colour down on it and ready for next week, because I won't be ready this week. So I have got some greens here from Jane Davenport, and I love these because they're very they're really lovely and soft, and they really work together. You can use anything you want. I'm going to use a series of light greens and stuff just because, well, I think it'll go. I might as well go with this idea of blues and greens like there and there, you know. I think these work quite well. So I've got some green here, just going to pick up some different coloured greens. So I'm going to test the colours here. Well, I would. Some water on my brush first, don't I? I'll test this green. Oh, lovely. Okay. Oh, sumptuous. So I'm going to go with that one first. I don't need a lot because I'm going to add. So I've got a dark green. I'll show it you. So I'm going to add it to her as well. And it doesn't matter if it goes over one little bit. So I'm going while it's wet. I am just going to go on the edge and darken that edge. I don't want it to be mad dark, but just blend it out a little bit so that it's darker on the very edge. You can do it again now. Add that edge to there, and hopefully I'm not going to put I don't think I put pattern all over her face, but a hair I might do and continue it. And a little bit more dark. There we go, quite like that. And I'm going to carry this dark on in another place where I think it'll really fit. So we've got this on the doe foot one. I'm going to put, I think, now what you can do is, if you don't want to do green, just choose the colour that you like. And this could be paint, anything you want. Anything you want. The Dora, it could be paint flakes or anything, but to me they're going to go on top, you see, so that's why I'm doing this. Those would be on top, and I'm just going to do what I did before, but I'm just going to do it on this edge. Now I've fluffed up a bit here, so what I'm going to do is just go down and do the edge there. If it's a bit much, wipe it off a little bit, you know, because it might be too heavy, but that's fine as well. Just use your t-shirt. No, you don't use your t-shirt. All right, but just use my t-shirt because I haven't got any stuff with me. Right, so we'll look at that. Quite like it. I'm going to have to go and get some water anyway because I haven't got a dish. But I'm going to choose now. Think of the colours that go with it. Right, so you think of the colours that go with it, and it's golds and metallics, isn't it? So I would perhaps choose, there's a beautiful like quinacridone colour. There's an amazing red there that might be a little bit too red, but red and green always go, believe it or not. The partners. So I'm just going to slip in a little bit here. Now the problem is I'm doing it next to a wet. So this may go Pete Tong because it's actually still wet. So it might bleed. But I'm not too bothered about it actually. I'm doing far more than I thought I would. I didn't think I'd get this far. So I'm darkening this edge. And I've put some of the red up. I don't want it to start. Oh, I don't want it to start looking like Christmas, but I'm not happy. I'm not worried if it does because I've got a lot of work to do on it, you know, pattern and stuff. So I'm going to clean brush. Clean brush. Jane's paints are really pigmented. And I love them. So what I've done is brought, again, this. You can still see that. I know you can, but it won't. When I start putting gold on it and stuff, you won't see. And again, darken up the edge. Clean that off. and wiggle the colour out. So we've got 2 colours. I might add some more. There's nothing to stop me later on adding more. I like the idea of a blue. So I've got a turquoisey blue. Show you the colour. Like a turquoisey blue. See on the back. What colour is that one? Is that the darker blue? Oh yeah. Hang on. Yeah, I've got this one as well, which I love. So that's more of a greeny blue, which I think will. Oh, so here, and I like this one now. Out here, I'm going around my blobs, technical term, not blobs. Going around with circles, because if you look at my reference, I'll show you in a minute, it's what I did on my reference. Now, I think we might have to finish this next week. So Friday again, every Friday now, 12 o'clock, unless you say otherwise, it'll be every Friday, I hope. So I've got these circles set up now, and I might not want it's dark, so I'm going to go with a lighter one in between, and then just a little bit of water too. I'm going to take some more paint off, I think. So a lighter one, which is just basically you're just letting the two blend. You're not putting anything but more water on, basically, like that. So when you come up with these ideas, you're just thinking about things that you, I could do, and I could do that. And that's where the inspiration comes. So, you know, I look at other people's work and think, oh, that'd be great. And stuff from people doing hacks and stuff. I love them. You know, a lot of my little paintings, they've been hacked, so to speak. My little dupes or whatever you want to call them. They have all sorts of names for them. I don't know what they mean. I'm just saying them. I'm sure I'm saying them in the wrong place. You know what I mean? I'm saying them when I shouldn't be saying them. But that's me, innit? That is me. I tend to do that all the time. So I'm integrating a face a bit at the watercolour there. So I'm looking at this, and this could be like a warm gold or an orange or a bronze, and I've got a bronze here. Now these colours are purely from my own reference. These have got nothing to do with anybody else's work. This is just, oh, it's not coming out. This is just me and my reference material. So I'll show you that again. There are the browns and the russets and the golds and the reds. You know, to me, they just work. So I've got this. This is a very, why is that not picking up? Oh, I know why. Sometimes I go around and put glue on it. Don't do it on purpose, but I put glue on the top of a paint on like medium, multi-medium. And then when I go in and try and use it with the brush on the top, I've left a blob on it and it's sealed up the paint. So it doesn't always bode well. Now this is a greeny brown. It looks like poo now, but it won't. It won't. Right, I'm going to take a little bit off these because I don't want them as dark, but I'm just being willy-nilly with it. Like that, just to give it a bit more depth, whatever it is, depth. So I've got like the browns, the greens. Now you can use metallics like I did, or metallic pens, or glitter pens, all those things, because they're really useful for stuff like this. And then what I'm going to do is give it a real, that colour needs to come into the back. So I'm going to go in with a yellow ochre. So I put it down there. And although these spirals are going to be gold, I'm going to be doing gold on gold. Now, to me, I don't know if anyone else thinks this, but she's starting to look like a Madonna now. But I'm thinking that's because the reference material, like mother and child and stuff, is very similar. And I'm wondering whether it's a subliminal that I've done it. Can you see? She's starting to look really sort of, to me, she does anyway. Don't know if anyone else thinks that. Was you? Oh, I hope you're all right, Dawn. Yeah, Madonna and Child. I didn't think of it at first, Emma. But now I'm looking at this. I'm like, oh, right, yeah, get it. So what I'm going to do is bring this red. It's not red. It's like a bronzy gold. Now, because I've said that, what I would do now as extra homework, because of the reference I've just made, and because it's given me more inspiration, I would go and research iconic pictures, like especially the Russian icons, Russian iconic paintings, like religious ones. They're amazing because they have very similar halos and stuff. I'm just going to wash that in because I don't want it that heavy. So just wash that out with a bit of paint, water on your brush, and then I'm just going to bring her out with now. It's amazing how you start with one idea, and then by the time you've come full circle to put it down on paper, you know, another idea pops up. So to me, I'm like really thinking this is mother and child. And I would even look at Leonardo da Vinci now. So while that's drying, which we need to leave it to dry, I'm going to show you what I would do now. So I would pack away. I wouldn't put any more colour on that. I'd let that sit. I'd pack away. And then what I would do is get me a bit of paper again. Okay. So I'm looking at that now and I'm thinking, that looks like blah, blah, blah. So I would then go in with Madonna and Child. And then Leo. Right, so that's Leonardo of the place Da Vinci. Da means of, Vinci means where he lived. And I would look at that, and then I would look at, I think I would have to look at the Mona Lisa now. And then from that, I would look at the horizons, because I know the horizons in the Mona Lisa are weird because they're off kilter. Say one was here and one was up here, maybe it's something we could do. So now I'm looking at all these relevant things for this. So then I've got in the background, right, spirals. So spirals, what do they mean? They've got spiritual meaning. you know, pagan stuff and like that. I haven't rubbed out the lines, it doesn't really matter to me. So I'm using red, orange, well, it's rust, greens, blues, and I'll see on a colour wheel. So this is all how I would go on now. But then I would look at, I was just thinking, I forgot it again, just said it. So spirals, horizons, red, green, orange. And I would get my pencils out and maybe look at colours that go together with that. Oh, I know. Russian icon. Because if you look at Russian icons, they've got a lot of Russian icons, what you call it. Yeah, Russian icon art pictures. Ah, right, here we go. Can you see what I mean now? So I've not got 500,000 or whatever it is, but these are the pictures now of Russian iconography. They have amazing pictures, but they've this gold halo, and it's very beautiful. And I could see the halo around there now. Yeah, Greek Orthodox. It's mainly the Orthodox. And you've got some of the different gods of different religions. But the idea of it being, this is a very old one, but the idea of the way a head is, I hadn't, until this moment, I hadn't thought about that, but I have got a real love of this. So, yeah, let's look at the very similar, the Russian and the Greek, very, very similar. There's not much in it, but it tends to be less female and more male orientated, but still the same idea of profile with a halo. So yeah, you've got Greek, Russian, Christian iconography, but that is where I would go now. So just, I'm going to round it up now because we've done a lot today. We've done a lot. So collect your reference images and start looking for a piece that you like. Get your pattern book out and have a look at it and see what you like. Collect your image. Use what you wish. I'm not telling you to use anything. Remember copyright issues. Remember, you don't have to use it the way the reference material shows you. So I did this picture because I really love it, but you don't have to do that. I did it so it's an easy one for you to pick up. Collage, anything, cigarette paper, cards, magazine pages, imaging, wherever you choose, but I haven't told you that you must do that at all. So you get your image and you put your image down, and then you look at your research and you think, right, I love this pattern talks to me. And then you draw your pattern out once you've glued him or her on. Don't forget, it looks like the lady of, oh, what's her name? Is it Ruskin? And she's in the water like that. Yeah. Lady of Shalott. She's in the water. Very, very known, well known. So you could do that as well. It's another artist, but remember the overall shape. Don't tie yourself down too much, and then using your info and your reference and the images you know you like. you then put some shape down, and the shape will just show you itself. From that, we put some lines in, copied some of the shape. The foundation shapes are not finished yet. And then from this, we got mother and child, which it does, although there's not a child there, but it looks like Madonna. Then from Madonna, we got Leonardo da Vinci. And then we went, look at the horizons on that because they're quite strange. And then also spirals, it's Celtic and lots of spiritual significance of that. The colours all mean relevance, they're all rich and plush. And then it reminded me of the Russian, and as Caroline said as well, the Greek Orthodox. And then I turned it around and it looked like something completely different. So that ends this lesson, and we'll finish this with you next week. But get some foil out if you've got it, because we're going to do a little trick with some foiling on this. If you've got a foil pen, that's even better. If you want one, and you want one from Highlight Crafts, put in the code Moodle10 and you get 10% off. So, just before you go, I want to show you this. Now, I'm working with some people that I absolutely love. And she was called Rosie, but now they've changed the name to the Crafty Heart. But if you hang on, we might be able to get you a code. And I'm doing a dragon. And it's still messy, really is messy, because I've only done the foundation. I've not even stitched some of these on. But isn't that amazing? It's got a big, like, strands coming off it as well. But yeah, you've got all sorts. These need tidying up because they've been in my bag. But you've got diamantes, big ones. You've got sequins, beads, pearl. I've got some pearl, and I have adored doing this. So this is my treat. This is what I say I'm doing when I'm fed up of doing this. So, did you enjoy that? If you did, let me know what. If it was like a 5 out of 10, let me know why. Because I'm not just going for people commenting if they don't tell me why. Because that's all right. We can all do that. So, if you enjoyed it, I hope to see you next week. And don't forget, your fabric can go on there as well, like that. You know, you can draw on your fabric as well with pen art products, with Cadence products. If I want to put some glitter on this, I will do, but I'll build up tones. Oh, thank you, Denise. Thank you, Jamila. Oh, it's lovely to see you again. And don't forget, get all your bits out next week, because what we want to do is start putting some of that on. Give it a bit of welly. Because don't forget, we have got so much to do. Just from one artist, it's infinite. So I hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully see you next week. And thank you very much. Got 2 10 out of 10s. Get in. Result. Next Friday, be here or be circular. And I'll see you at 12. And go and do your own work. I want to see this back. So hopefully I'll be finished this as well. But if not, I'll do another one to finish to show you. All right. So lots of love, as always. Take care. Take time for yourself. And remember, if you go to louwithers.com, that'll tell you all that we did today. All right. Bye.